A profound message echoes across the world, a warning, a plea, and a call to action from the Virgin Mary herself. She has spoken, and her words carry the weight of divine truth. To ignore them is to risk being unprepared for what is to come. The trials ahead will not be ordinary. They will test the very core of our faith, our resilience, and our willingness to return to God. The Virgin Mary has always appeared to humanity in times of great need, guiding, warning, and offering the path of salvation. From Lourdes to Fatima, from Guadalupe to Medjugorje, her voice has been a beacon of hope, urging us to turn away from sin and embrace God's infinite mercy. But now, her message carries an urgency unlike ever before. She calls for deep conversion, a radical change in our hearts, and a return to the love of the Father. The world stands on the brink of great trials, and only those who prepare spiritually will withstand the storm. Her message is clear. These are not just difficult times, they are decisive times. The choices we make today will determine whether we stand firm in faith or are swept away by fear and despair. The Virgin Mary warns of the increasing darkness in the world, a time when faith will be tested, and only those who have fortified their souls in prayer and repentance will find strength in the face of tribulation. But this is not a message of doom, it is a message of hope. Mary reminds us that no matter how great the trials, the love of God is greater. She urges us to embrace prayer, especially the Rosary, as a weapon of protection. She calls us to confession, to purify our souls before it is too late. She invites us to acts of kindness, to spread love and light where the world offers only division and darkness. The time for complacency is over. Those who dismiss this message risk facing the coming trials unprepared. Those who listen, who pray, who turn back to God, will find refuge under the mantle of the Virgin, shielded by divine grace. The question is not whether these trials will come. The question is whether we will be ready. The Virgin Mary is calling. Will you answer? The Virgin Mary's global message. A call to spiritual readiness. The message of the Virgin Mary, once confined to smaller, localized communities, has now reached millions across the globe. Her words are not just for those directly affected by current events or tragedies. Her message transcends borders and touches the hearts of all humanity. This is a message of universal importance, urging us to reflect on our lives, our choices, and our relationship with God. In her love, she offers guidance and reassurance, fully aware of the burdens and fears we carry, and she emphasizes that now is the time to prepare. Not tomorrow, not later, but now. One of the central themes of Mary's message is the critical importance of prayer. She consistently encourages us to pray, not only for ourselves but for others too. She teaches us that prayer is a powerful force, capable of transforming the world and lighting up even the darkest souls. She tells us, "My children, pray fervently. Let your prayers be an honest conversation with the Father." Every word you speak has the power to move God's heart and reach heaven. The call to prayer is not just a suggestion. It is a vital step in our spiritual preparation for the difficulties ahead. Prayer is our direct communication with God, a lifeline that connects us to His strength, guidance, and peace in the midst of chaos. But Mary's message goes beyond the call to pray. She also urges us to seek conversion. Conversion is not a one-time act. It is an ongoing journey of aligning our hearts and minds with the teachings of Christ. She invites us to examine our lives and to pursue spiritual renewal. We must seek to live in harmony with God's will, and it is through this transformation that we find the strength to face the challenges that lie ahead. Amidst the warnings, Mary offers a message of hope. While she does not promise a life free from trials, she assures us that those who heed her call and remain faithful will find spiritual sanctuary. The promise is clear: with faith we will endure. Her message is one of hope, not fear. Even in the darkest moments, God's love remains a guiding light, protecting those who seek Him. No earthly power can take away the security found in His embrace. Mary's message is a reminder that we will face both spiritual and physical challenges. Our faith will be tested, and doubts and fears may threaten to overwhelm us. But she reassures us that there is a higher force at work, a divine light that will shine through even the most difficult circumstances. Peace, safety, and guidance will be granted to those who answer her call and prepare spiritually for the trials ahead. However, the Virgin Mary also warns that those who ignore her call and fail to prepare spiritually will be at risk. We have seen throughout history what happens when divine warnings are disregarded. In previous apparitions, like those in Fatima, Mary delivered urgent messages, and those who ignored them faced dire consequences. This is why our current message is so vital. It is not merely a suggestion, but an urgent plea. Prepare your hearts and souls now. Embrace prayer, conversion, and faith. The challenges ahead are inevitable, but with the grace of God, we can face them with courage and hope. Let us not wait until the last minute. Now is the time to prepare, for the peace and safety promised by our Mother is available to all who heed her call. The call to return to God is as urgent as it is profound. Throughout history, mankind has endured the ravages of war, disaster, and spiritual crisis, all stemming from a collective disregard for divine teachings. The consequences of this negligence have been painful, but even now, as the Virgin Mary speaks to us once again, we are offered a chance for spiritual renewal. She urges us to heed her warning, to avoid repeating the errors of the past. Her message goes beyond earthly troubles. It reaches deep into the very core of our souls, guiding us to understand that ignoring her counsel could leave us hopeless, spiritually adrift, and ultimately separated from God. In these challenging times, when the world seems so focused on the fleeting pleasures of the material realm, it's easy to forget that the true source of strength comes from the Spirit, not from possessions. The Virgin Mary calls us to see beyond the surface of our lives, reminding us that earthly wealth and comforts cannot protect us when the storms of life rage. Only those who turn to God and embrace prayer, love, and humility will have the fortitude to face whatever lies ahead. At the heart of her message is a choice. We stand at a crossroads. Either we turn toward the divine through prayer and conversion and prepare ourselves spiritually for the trials to come, or we ignore the call and face the coming challenges unprepared, lost in a world that offers no true solace. The Virgin Mary makes it clear. The road to peace and hope is open to all who listen to her voice and open their hearts to God. Her call is not one of despair, but one of hope, a chance for a future that is brighter, more purposeful, and deeply connected to the divine. But for those who choose to turn away, the path ahead will be filled with isolation and hardship. The Virgin Mary, in her boundless love, offers 3 key practices to guide us through the difficult times ahead: prayer, almsgiving, and humility. Prayer, the direct line of communication with God, is the foundation of spiritual strength and peace. It is through prayer that we find comfort and the wisdom to endure. But the Virgin Mary also reminds us of the importance of charity, helping those in need and showing love to those who suffer. True wealth, she teaches, comes not from material possessions, but from the love we give and the assistance we offer to others. In a world desperate for hope, acts of kindness and charity become our most powerful tools in spreading God's peace and drawing us closer to Him. Humility is the third cornerstone of preparation. The Virgin Mary calls us to live simply, to detach ourselves from the temporary and focus on the eternal. By embracing humility, we open ourselves to God's grace and strengthen our ability to face whatever challenges come our way. Living humbly allows us to prepare our hearts for the grace that will see us through even the darkest of times. Finally, the Virgin Mary implores us to stay vigilant, to remain spiritually alert and strong. This is not a call to live in fear, but rather to be rooted in faith, so that when trials come, we will face them with peace and confidence. By following her guidance, we will have the strength to endure and the serenity to handle whatever arises. This journey is not one to walk alone. As we take part in this spiritual adventure, let us be inspired by the shared stories of faith, love, and renewal. Together, we can prepare our hearts and minds to face the challenges ahead, and in doing so, bring light and hope to a world in desperate need. May you find peace and strength in the Virgin Mary's message, and may your hearts be filled with love and faith as you answer her call.